Happy Halloween, ladies.
You just listen to the old Pork Chop Express here now and take his advice on a dark and stormy night when the lightning's crashing and the thunder's rolling and the rain.
Taco Tuesday, folks! Welcome to Dragonstone Taqueria with the one and only Mexican Iron Man! The Mad Doctor, Adega Outlaws here, ladies and gentlemen. Das Whoopin', Leia Rose, Showback, TJC, the Sagacious Six, Pops, what is up, Valhalla? Sakador 9! Pops from Talk Hard! Stay safe, brother! Greetings, one and all, and welcome to Mornings of Mischief. I'm your host, Stone Loki, and with me today, of course, is the keeper of the Dragonstone Taqueria secret recipe, the one and only, the Taco Man himself, Mexican Iron Man. Good morning, my friend.
Hashtag brown sleepy Mexican eyes lives matter. I am like, okay, first of all, let's get the announcements out of the way before I even say good morning. So if anybody's texting me in the live chat, I'm not going to text you or type you back. Like, my eyes can't even see that far. I have little, what we call Mexican babas in my eyeballs, you know, from the sleepy time. I'm on 3.5 hours of sleep. I'm barely halfway through my first cup of coffee. And yeah, it was a late night last night. I got until ValhallaCon, which is in what, 4 weeks flat?
4 weeks.
I have about 3 months of work to do in 4 weeks in order to make it to. Actually, that's not true. I have about 3 months work to do in 3 weeks because I have to stop by October 14th, which is the deadline. Eek. It's going to be a rough next 3 weeks. Hi, everybody. I'm Mexican Iron Man. That's Stone _ Loki. We're here.
We're here.
We're here.
Sagador of 9 with $2 super chat out. Loki has very understanding neighbors. I honestly don't give a shit if they understand or not. It's the morning show. We're gonna go balls to the walls and we're gonna do what we do. So fuck them. 6 says, Mike, you have something very important to tell you.
Oh, what? Was it the secret time and location of the one-on-one meetup? Yeah, I told Sid. I was trying to tell Six the other day on Midnight Edge After Dark. I was trying to do a meetup, if you know what I mean. You know, Mexican Iron Man can be tired and exhausted, but somehow he finds the energy in time in critical moments.
An heiress of chaos who's been a member for 2 years. She's been a member for 25 months and a member of Loki's army says, damn it, Loki. Now I want tacos. Well, go and get breakfast tacos. Of course, you can go and get breakfast tacos.
You've been monetized for 2 years?
Yeah. 25 months.
You know, part of me seems like you just started this like yesterday. It all
yesterday.
It all seems well, no, I mean it's always been so fun. So, you know, whenever you have a good thing, time flies, is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
And Valhalla is a great thing.
Oh, somehow Mexican Iron Man always manages to get it up.
Ha!
Magitech Mags with $2 super chat. Tacos, heart, and clap hands. Thank you so very much, Mags. You were so wonderful. Thank you for being here, Mags. And McKinney draws with $5 super chat. Says, congrats on 2K, brother. Here's another another 20K more. Skull. Thank you so much, McKinney. Oh my God. Machini,
bro.
Machini. I always say McKinney. Machini. Thank you, Mags. Thank you so much, Psychodorf9. And thank you, Heiress of Chaos, for your member chat. You guys keep the fires burning bright here in Valhalla, and this one's just for you guys. Skull!
A dollar? I've never seen a dollar. Nobody's got a dollar. Let us see the dollar. There it is. It's beautiful. Take your hat off, boy. That's a dollar bill.
Take your hat off, boy. That's a dollar bill. And show back TJC with $5 super chat. I know what will wake up Mexican Iron Man. Put those old records on the shelf.
Oh, for the love of fuck. Seriously.
You're a very funny man, senor.
So about a year ago, and thank you guys so very much. Thank you. About a year ago.
No, thank you for that video. No, thank you. Go ahead. What?
$5 super chat from June Wong. I'm not as pretty as I was at 18, but if I shave my beard and get a nice wig and dress, can I get a special one-on-one with Mexican Iron Man 2?
There is no amount of tequila or drugs that will make that happen. No. I'm not that tired.
So last year, while we were at Retropalooza, which is the location we are going to have ValhallaCon this year, last year we got some really crazy news. We got news that, and we were the first ones to break this. We were the first ones to talk about this. I think we went live like that morning and cracked it before everybody else did. I'm pretty sure we did. If we didn't, someone please let me know. The Rush shooting. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, hell yeah, I remember that. We were going over. When did that happen exactly? Wasn't it?
That happened while we were there. While we were in Dallas.
That's right. And we were going shooting on Sunday. I totally remember this. That's right.
Magic Maz asks, how do I sign up for these one-on-ones with Mikey?
Let me get a pen right now. Just, we're not going to pencil her in. We're just going to put it in with a freaking Sharpie right here.
Thank you, Mags.
Put it right there.
Thank you so much, Mags.
VIP access to the VIP access to the private area.
So Alec Baldwin got a phone call from his lawyer yesterday.
Oh, I haven't been following this shit. Did something happen this week?
This was his response. As he is on his phone, that is him live. That's him yesterday on his phone with his lawyer. He was on his phone for about 10 minutes in the middle of a day out with his kids and had to like shoo them all off, shoo the wife off, go over to the thing. He talked for about 10 minutes. This is him on the phone talking to his lawyer. And after this, he went and sat in his car for like another 15 minutes before they left. He just sat there with his head down.
Really?
Really. There are photographs as evidence of exactly what happened yesterday.
And who took these photos? Where'd you get them?
These are off of dailymail.com.
Oh, shit. That means they're legit.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Wow.
So
the thing is that this country is so ignorant when it comes to firearms that they don't understand. Like, I mean, to me, this is real. I'm a tactical guy. As you know, Saturday, I was out all day for like 8-9 hours, AR-15. Like, I was out there open range and stuff with a tactical class. And like, there were what, 8 of us? 2 of us were civilians. The rest, or 3 of us were civilians. The other 5 guys were law enforcement out on this course.
yes.
It's real simple. There's 4 rules. Number 1, always assume that a firearm in your hand is loaded, whether you think it's a toy or you know it's real or you think it's real. You assume it's
always
loaded.
You always treat it as a live firearm.
He was
told cold gun. So they were passing this gun off through multiple people. He's not the only one. There are 4 people looking at charges. And it's not been 100% confirmed yet that he's going to get charged. However, he got this call an hour after they said they were charging 4 people. And this was a call from his lawyer, apparently, in the middle of his day out.
Before we go into that part of it, I want to address something that Leia Rose said, which in her comment about what if he was framed. All right, so the 4 rules of all firearms are that when you see one, you assume it's loaded. Number 1. Number 2, you don't point it. You don't point it in the direction of something that you don't want to destroy. Number 3 is that you are mindful of what's around and what's going on. And number 4 is you keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to pull that trigger. But let's go back to rule number 1. When you have to assume that every firearm is loaded, that means when the standard practice is if you tell me if Loki is my brother, there is, like, my mom calls him Mijo, which means my son. And I would be hard pressed to, I mean, there are few people on this entire planet that I'm closer to than Loki. Few. Very, very few. And you know, and definitely probably the only one that's not related by blood. But if Loki were to walk up to me and say, Mike, we're going to shoot a scene for Valhalla, and this gun's a cold gun, I'm going to take it. I'm going to point it in a safe direction. I'm going to open up. I'm going to check it. I'm going to clear it. If there's any ammo in it, I'm going to pop it out and I'm going to inspect it. It's like robotic. It is as robotic to me. Handling a firearm like that is as robotic to me as if someone said, as if I'm going to decide to brush my teeth and I grab toothpaste and a thing. So for me, it's impossible. If someone wanted to frame Loki and me in a shooting a scene, like where we're going to do a shootout scene out in front of a hotel in Dallas to take a video for YouTube, there's no way that someone could sabotage it because I bear responsibility for that. And that's what this really comes down to. Okay, let's go back into how we handled this. So what was this call about?
This call was about the charges. His lawyer calling him about the charges. There are 4 people that are going to be charged by the state of New Mexico for the death of Hala Hutchinson.
Oh, wow.
So there are 4 people that are going to be charged, whether they're going to be charged, how they're going to be charged, manslaughter, whatever they're going to be charged. He is also being sued by the family. So he has sold a house in the Hamptons. He has sold his house in the Hamptons. He is talking about putting all of his money in trusts for his kids so he can't be sued.
Well, that's what OJ did.
Now, Here's the thing. Did he fire the gun that killed Helena Hutchinson? Yes, he did fire the gun. He can say he didn't pull the trigger. He can say he didn't touch the hammer. He can say all the things he wants to. He held the gun that killed this woman. Were there problems on set with gun safety? Yes, there was. There was ammo in ammo boxes. There were live rounds mixed in with blank rounds. It should have never, ever happened. They were shooting. We know for a fact they were target shooting with live ammunition using these revolvers, firing live ammunition when they were screwing off, shooting at cans and shit in the back lot. The armorer was severely unexperienced. She had only been on one job before they gave her this job, because she is the daughter of one of the greatest armorers in Hollywood history, that didn't have any kind of accidents like this. She did not do her job. We're going to find that out. We're going to find out she wasn't doing her job. She wasn't keeping track of the ammo. She wasn't keeping track of the guns. She was not doing the job she was supposed to do. She's already admitted this. She admitted this last year when all this shit happened. We know there were all kinds of safety problems on set for this movie because people were dicking around and playing games. Is that specifically Adam Baldwin's fault? He was a producer and he was the one leading this movie, which means he was the one in charge of everyone. When the crew that got sent off of this movie, because they did fire people the day this happened, they told people to go home, and they brought in people that had absolutely no experience with a lot of this stuff. That does not include the armor. This includes people that were driving hours in the mornings and hours at night because they would not put them up. So basically these people got together and were like, hey, this is horse shit. This is absolute horse shit. You guys are treating us like crap. You promised us a place to stay, and Alec wasn't going to pay for that. He wasn't going to pay for it out of his own card. If he had, I'm almost positive that this wouldn't have happened because they would have had an experienced crew that was getting their rest, doing their jobs, not dicking around. And instead, they had a whole bunch of people on the set that had no idea that they were not card-carrying Hollywood elite workers here. They were just people they went and picked up and said, hey, do you want to work today? Sure. Okay, come on. And there is absolutely no reason to have live ammunition on a movie set. No reason. And the investigation proved already that there were live rounds mixed in with the blanks. Someone fucked up and did not do their job. And there's 4 people that the state of New Mexico is going to prosecute.
So who are the 4 that they picked? Him, the armorer, I'm guessing.
They haven't released that yet. Okay. That's coming. But an hour after they said there are 4 people, they did say Alec Baldwin is one of those people that they have investigated, and that there are 4 people that they are going to bring charges to. They've already moved over $500,000 over for this trial.
Oh, that was going to be my next 2 questions, because my next 2 questions were going to be, usually in something like this where it's not a big city that's used to big type of liability cases, they typically, I'll address that question in a second, 6. So that'll be the 3rd thing I'll bring up. Keep that up there for a second so I don't forget, if you don't.
Oh yeah.
So normally, and I work for the city of San Jose, in the county of Santa Clara. And one of the things that would often happen is that in order to prosecute, in the department I was at, we had a police, fire. We handled a lot of the responder budgets. And if it's a big case, a big trial, there has to be a separate allocation appropriation. Are you telling me that they already went and did that?
Yes, they have $688,000 moved over.
Oh, shit. It's on then. All right. So that's number 1. Number 2 is that I watched all of the interviews.
Yes, Dean, he is selling his Hamptons home. That is correct.
I watched all of the arrest interviews that they had. So I'm conjecturing that it's him, it is the armorer, It is also Hannah, the associate. She was the props manager, not the armor, but the props manager. And based upon some of the interviews that I saw, I'm guessing the fourth person I'm going to guess was her boyfriend, the guy who actually supplied the ammo.
It's either going to be him. There could be a chance. It's possible there's a chance, because if you want to talk about the chain of custody of the gun went from the young armorer we have spoken about that had only done one movie before this, to the assistant director, to Alec Baldwin. That was the chain of custody of the gun. From her hand, off of the think of the gun rack like a library section, okay? There are weapons on a mobile rack that are all lettered and numbered, and this tells you what gun you need, so that you're not like, oh my God, where's Alec Baldwin's gun? So let's say Alec's gun was A1. They'll say, we need to have A1, we need to have the A1 gun, and we need to make sure it's cold.
Right.
The armor's job, her first job, is to get the weapon, make sure it is clean, make sure it is cold, make sure there is nothing inside of it, and then she will hand that to who wants it, which in this case was the assistant director, and say, cold gun. It's his job to take that gun and give it to Alec and tell him, cold gun. Now, like you said, if I was Alec Baldwin, first thing I'm going to do is pull that out and make sure that gun is empty, that gun is clear. There's nothing in that weapon.
It's so funny that you say that, because when we went to the range in Dallas last year and we were shooting each other's guns, I handed you one of my pistols, remember?
Yep.
And I remember looking at you and watching you clear it, and I smiled. You probably didn't even notice because you were looking down at the gun, and I smiled because I remember saying to myself at the time, Loki trusts me more than anybody on the planet, but he still just cleared the gun that I handed him, that I had already just cleared before I gave it to you. I cleared it and I handed it to you. First thing you did is you grabbed it, cleared it, the whole 9 yards, and then you took it and went to the next thing. Let's address this. 6. Are these trials going to be live? So the way that process works, and is that's going to be up to the county and the judge. Each county has different rules for how they handle these things, and each judge can decide what the rules are related to it being televised or not. Then there's also a third factor, which is that a lot of these courtrooms are not set up for the kind of live broadcast feeds. You need a serious Wi-Fi. You usually need 2 or 3 multiple cameras in the room, and then you need someone running that tape and managing it. And my concern is going to be that this small budget, my concern is going to be that they budget enough funds for it to be televised, and that may or may not be in that initial appropriation, because this isn't Santa Fe. Santa Fe is a small town. I got married in Santa Fe. In that county. That's where my marriage license was signed back when I got married. So it'll be interesting. It'll be great to be televised, but they may not want it to be televised, and they may not have the money, they may not have the tech, they may not even have the policy guidelines in that county in the DA's office for crimes like this to be televised.
Psychodorp 9 with $5 super chat says, there are no small mistakes with a firearm, just times when you are luckier than you deserve to be.
That's true.
Absolutely agree. And thank you for the $5 super chat, brother. So this entire movie was being rushed. We know that for a fact. This entire production was being rushed. They only had so much money. That money was grant money from the government. So they were making this movie for nothing. And Alec Baldwin, there are recordings of Alec Baldwin yelling, screaming, bitching people out that this had to be done. It had to be done quickly. We don't have time to dick around. If you're not gonna do your job, we're gonna bring in people that will. And these people were not certified. They were not carded. These were people that they brought in that day, the day this happened, that were not a part of this production. There were people they brought in that day because the crew did not feel safe under the working conditions they were working under. Everything was being rushed. Checks were not being made, and they were not given the hotel stays there on the ranch that they were told they would get. So they were driving 2-3 hours in the morning and then another 2 and 3 hours at night after a 16-hour workday. So that's 2 or 3 hours there. That's 19 hours, another 2 or 3. How the hell are you supposed to do that? And they're telling them, we can't keep doing this. We cannot keep doing this. We're sleeping in our cars. We're driving back and forth. We're not getting any rest. How are we supposed to do this? And they stood up and they said something and they said, leave. They walked them off the set that day.
Who does that?
And then brought in people to finish her whole film crew. Helena Hutchins' whole film crew got the boot, got the walk that day, and they bring people in that are not a part of this production to finish shooting. And this is all on Alec. Alec could have stepped in and said, you know what? Here's my damn platinum card. Charge it. You have a place to stay. He's the one who was producing this movie. It was his job. He was the one who hired these people. It's on him. At the end of the day, it's on him. Do I feel bad for him? Yeah. No one wants to see someone shoot somebody. But he's come out and lied after it. He's come out and was like, I never did this. I never touched the hammer. A gun like that. I want to tell you something about a revolver like that. A revolver like that does not fire on its own. There is no automatic mechanism. There are no gears and switches and any of that shit. You've got a trigger, you've got a hammer, you've got a revolver. It does not fire on its own. And he said it fired on his own without him touching the trigger or the hammer. That is absolutely impossible. There is no possible way a revolver went off without you touching the hammer or the trigger. Period. End of discussion. There is no mechanism that does it on its own. He was practicing fanning in front of Helena Hutchinson in the camera, and the gun went off. He hit the hammer, whether he meant to or not, whether he pulled the trigger or not, whatever happened, he did it.
Well, you have to pull the trigger back in order for you to be able to fan like
Yes.
that anyway. I mean, it's not, no, whether he and here's the other, let's throw this in. Here, he might even believe in his mind that he didn't pull the trigger back. He may or may not even remember that. He may or may not be lying. He may or may not. He may be lying to himself, and he may or may not even know that he did. And let me tell you why. Because when as a guy who's done a lot of tactical training, one of the things that we did on one exercise, and it was fascinating, is that we did this drill where people had to come back and say how many shots they fired while they ran a drill. Like you'd have to put one shot this target, one shot that, two on this, and they had to remember how many shots they shot. A lot of people didn't remember that they shot. I mean, I was just out on the range Saturday, and there's a guy that shot through a barrel, didn't even realize he did that with a pistol. I mean, people, the stress that goes involved when you're, you can get out of yourself in the moment, and your mind will create a new reality for what you think to have happened, even though what you think happened never actually did happen. So whether he's intentionally lying or he is unconsciously lying, the fact of the matter is that these guns do not shoot themselves any more than when Mexican Iron Man has nighttime sexy time, and let's just say things don't do themselves on their own. You know what I'm saying?
And yes, 6. The hammer is the C-shaped piece on top of the gun that gets cocked.
Hold on, let me look down. It's not C-shaped. Wait, what are we talking about? Oh,
the hammer on a revolver.
Oh, sorry.
Not the hammer in your pants.
Sorry, Loki. Distracted.
I swear, anytime anybody talks about tacos, he's like, where? Huh? Where?
So what do you think's going to happen to this guy? Like seriously, what's gonna happen to this guy?
He's gonna get charged. He's gonna get charged.
Uh-huh.
I mean, just look at him. This is the phone call with his lawyer.
So someone had to be following him with the camera.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if they got tipped off because how did they know?
They did. They did. That's what happens. Well, okay. So basically, the way this works now, and you might have caught this with the Amber Heard trial. What happened with that? Big shout out. Big shout out, Jesus Christ. Entertainment Hacker, EH. If you don't know his channel, but he covered a lot of this. What happens is, and what Amber and what the that douchebag over at TMZ admitted is that the publicist for these actors and actresses will call them and be like, "Hey, I have a camera crew here." So what most likely happened is his publicist, his manager, whatever, Alex, good buddy that works for him, called and said he's going to be out with his kids doing this. And then they got another call and said, "Hey, Alex, lawyer's going to call in 20 minutes. Make sure you get pictures of that."
Why would his publicist want pictures of this?
Because it's news and it's his popularity. It's news. Oh my God, look at him. Look at his hand over his head, and we're talking about him again. This gets people talking about them. That's what they want. They want people talking about them. They want people looking at them like they're magical unicorn fucking douchebags.
These people are weirdos.
So that's what, I mean, who would think that Amber Heard would want people taking pictures of her coming out of a courthouse with bruises on her face?
That's a good point.
Oh, but wait, the bitch did want, because she put makeup on and she faked the bruises. Huh. Now it all starts, and she's like, no, trying to cover up. Oh, no, please, no pictures. That's all fake bullshit. That's all fake bullshit. It's all fake bullshit. They want the attention. They want the cameras in their faces. They want the paparazzi clicking on them because it's all part of the plan.
Right.
These people work for them. TMZ works for them. Anytime, breaking news, Alec Baldwin banged a blah, blah, blah on the 610 freeway. Guess what? He wanted that out there. He wanted that out there. The cameras were there and waiting for him. How do you think the cameras were there and waiting for him?
Yeah, good point.
He wants this. He wants his face in the news. He wants him. Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening to me. He wants people feeling bad for him.
Like, oh, look how distraught here. Let me pretend to be a moron Alec Baldwin fan. Hold on. Oh my God, Loki, do you see how distraught he is? Clearly, that is not the face and the look of a man who's guilty. It's not fair, Loki, what's happening. This is why we've got to ban all firearms everywhere, Loki. We can't have this out there. Poor guy. How'd they do? Was it good?
Yeah, great.
Okay, cool.
They want to ban firearms, but they want security with firearms, making sure they're safe. They want security with firearms, automatic firearms, protecting their homes. Because they don't want plebs like you, me, and Dupree fucking going around messing with any of their shit. They want to be safe from the plebs.
Well, if they appropriated the money, that means this trial is happening. So all of that speculation that, he wouldn't be charged or there'd be no nothing. Obviously, that is over. It's on, like Donkey Kong. Right?
Yeah. Right.
Wow. Just from one trial to the next. First Amber Heard, now this one. It is on.
And yes, on Dead Ramen, protection only for the wealthy, not for the masses. And McKinney draws with a $10 super chat. If it was Ezra or she who shall not be named, whose last name rhymes with turd, they would get even more protection from the media, Hollywood, every single thing, and would have been swept under the rug immediately. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that $10 super chat, McKinney. God help me. And good
You
morning,
did it again.
Mads. I did it again.
You
Son of
did
a
it
bitch.
again.
And good morning, Mads. It is good to see you, Mads. So I mean, it's horseshit. It's horseshit. We covered this as soon as it broke last year while we were in Dallas. We covered this and we talked about this. And we have I think we talked about it once or twice since it happened. And now this. I'm not going to cover every aspect of the trial. That's other people's stick. That's what they do. That's how they work. I'm not going to dedicate this channel to nothing but Alec Baldwin trial. But I hope, like if someone like Entertainment Hacker, Rakita, those awesome guys that cover shit like this, I hope they get an explosion in subscribers. I hope they get attention to the channel, and I hope that Alec gets what's coming to him, because it's not about the fact that he accidentally pulled a trigger or that he accidentally pulled back the hammer or any of that. It's the fact that these people were rushing this production at such a pace that they went and picked up people. They went and picked up a group of people to fill in for a camera crew, and those people had absolutely no reason to be there and absolutely no qualifications to be there. Everything about this was rushed. Everything about this was mishandled, including the firearm that was used against Helena Hutchinson. Everything was mishandled. And as executive producer, that's on Alec Baldwin. This is his mess. Whether he pulled that trigger or not, it's his mess. The buck stops with him. This movie was underfunded. It was rushed. And when you rush, as Tommy Boy used to say, that's when accidents happen. And that's exactly what happened. So I feel for him, but it's his mess. He's got to clean it up.
Or if you do the crime, he's got to do the time.
He's got to do that. Yeah.
Isn't that more fair to say?
That's right. And if it shows that they released crew without warning, that they just dismissed crew, they brought in people that had no qualifications to be there. She lost her whole camera crew. She was standing in front of Alec, rehearsing a scene when that weapon went off, and she was shot and she was killed. That's on Alec Baldwin. That as no matter whether he pulled the trigger or not, it's on him. He's responsible. The armor is also responsible. So this girl that came from Hollywood armor royalty, that had only done one job before this, that was not ready and rushed because, oh my God, we have to have female presentation. We have to have a female in charge of cool shit. And she's the daughter of a famous armorer. She had absolutely she did not have the qualifications, and she was not long enough in the tooth to be doing this job. Obviously, because they were taking weapons out of her stock. They were taking weapons, ammo, mixing live rounds with son of a bitch. My mind's
Dummies,
not working.
blanks.
Dummy
Dummies
rounds,
and
blanks. Thank you. With blank rounds, it's on her. That's on her too. So she's just as responsible as Alec is for this whole mess. What about the theories that this was an on-purpose accident? We're going to find that out too, hopefully. Hopefully we find that out. If it was an on-purpose accident, if it was something going on that is nefarious, then the people that are responsible need to be nailed to the wall for it. Adega brought that up as well. So I know I've had a discussion with Adega in the past about the fact that this could very well have been a cover-up for something naughty that Alec Baldwin did.
I don't understand.
This happened. This was a murder, not an accident, but an actual murder, and they did it on purpose to keep her quiet.
Well, I don't want to go there.
So conspiracy theories abound. If something like that happened, if something like that was going on, I hope we find out about it. It's that simple. So,
Eek.
on a lighter note, but one that will also probably piss some people right off this morning, we're going to go over to bounding into comics real quick. Warner Brothers has decided to remake The Wizard of Oz and include LGBTQ representation.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, for fuck's I don't even need to reload my coffee now. What? Oh, for Pete's fucking sake.
What is Hollywood's obsession with pushing?
The answer to the question is the Thursday night show that you do with the Dega. These Hollywood people are weird, sick fucks.
Why take something like this? I mean, you know, they've got to do it in Star Wars. They say Star Wars is for kids, but they got to do it in Star Wars. Disney has to do it in every single movie they're coming out with now, but those movies are supposed to be for kids. So answer me why a movie like The Wizard of Oz that does not have any of this in the original books, because there is more than one book. I've read them. I read them to my kids. Warner Brothers' The Wizard of Oz remake will feature LGBTQ representation as part of a story that reflects the world today.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
It's by Jacob Smith over at Bounding Comics. So, reboot of the audiences were puzzled about the reboot. Original 1939 cinematic adaptation of L. Frank Baum's Wizard of Oz is not only a Hollywood classic, but still holds up to this day. So much so that despite numerous adaptations of the story having been done in the roughly 80 years since its premiere, none of them have come close to having as much of a lasting impact as the MGM film. That is true.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
Are you a good witch or a bad witch? Everybody knows about The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
However, this really hasn't stopped Barris from seeking to update the cinematic classic for modern audiences. We also had the Oz, the Great and Powerful movie, which I thought was okay. I don't mind it. I think it's like a cool little prequel to Wizard of Oz. It's in its own thing. It wasn't like, oh my God, this is the best ever, but it wasn't bad. Last week, Barris, who will be writing and directing the new project through his Coslabo Inc. Society production studio.
Who's greenlighting this crap?
Apparently, them, Coslabo Inc. Society production. Told Variety that his take on Dorothy's journey will give a whole new meaning to the phrase "somewhere over the rainbow."
What the? What? Somewhere over the rainbow, Loki. I will transition into the tornado is coming, Loki. Look out, Loki. Guess what? You're not in Valhalla anymore.
Oh my God. Are you a good witch or a bad witch? I'm a gay witch, dearie.
I'm not a bad witch, Loki. I'm not a bad witch or a good witch. That is so binary of you. Why do I have to classify myself as good or bad when I can be non-binary witch?
So this one's for you. Go ahead and read this one from Makini. Okay.
Ooh, you got it right that time. The Wicked Witch of the West will be an allegory for Trump or the alt-right. No. Wrong. Well, maybe.
Oh, that's what they've done to Alicent in Game of Thrones.
I haven't seen it. Don't tell me. I haven't watched anything.
Oh, I'm just saying that's what they're saying. That's what the media is saying.
I managed to watch Lord of the Rings of Power, but I didn't get to Game of Thrones yet.
A man squatch right here. My dad read me about 20 Oz books when I was a little squatch. Then he read me The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, and the Travels of Marco Polo. By that time, I had aged out of bedtime stories. Yeah. I started with the King Arthur, the like kids King Arthur stories, and then I went to Wizard of Oz, and yeah. So now she's reading Batman. She just read Dark Knight Returns.
Who did?
My kid.
No way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For the first time, the graphic novel, Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns. Yeah. Oh
Wait,
yeah.
Kylie did?
Yeah. Kaylee.
Kaylee, I'm sorry.
Kaylee just finished it and was like,
That
"Oh
is
my god,
so
it's the
freaking.
greatest comic book I've ever read." And I was like, "Well, it's Frank Miller." I said, "There's more Frank Miller books." So.
That is so cute.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, that is like I got a hugest smile on my face. That is so adorable. You must
Yeah.
have just been like the proudest papa
Oh
ever,
yeah. Oh yeah.
right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She loved the graphic novel. She was here a couple months ago, and I gave her that, and I gave her a Transformers one. And I'm really surprised because usually it's like Transformers, Transformers, Transformers.
Yeah.
But she took to that Batman book, and she was like, "That is the greatest comic book I've ever read." And I was like, "All right." She's a Frank Miller fan, so
So Loki, how are we like what is who's gonna go watch this?
not me. Not
No?
me. I'm not. I'm not gonna watch it.
You're not gonna
You know, I went and watched the Oz the Great and Powerful thing. I at the time I
Yeah.
liked what's his name? I can't remember bro dude's name. The guy who's like banging everybody now, who banged his whole class of students, acting students. Hold on.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Great and Powerful 2013. James Franco.
Oh,
So
Jesus.
I liked James Franco at the time. I thought him and what's his name were funny back then. So I watched it and I thought it was okay. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It was funny. It had funny parts to it. And it didn't shit all over. It didn't shit all over everything. Oz is like but I mean, if you think about the guy with the crystal ball in the original Wizard of Oz, he seemed like he's sitting there cooking hot dogs under a bridge. You kind of get the idea that he's maybe like not, totally legit. And he tries to kind of con Dorothy a little bit, but he's overall a good guy and convinces her that she needs to go back to the farm. And then he winds up being the wizard in Oz. So this makes sense to me. It makes sense to me that Oz is kind of, a con man, and you get that in the original Wizard of Oz because do not, look behind the curtain. Do not pay any attention to the man behind the curtain. He's a con man.
Right.
But he's also not like an evil guy. He's just, this is what he does. He's a sideshow guy. He acts, and that's the way he looks at it. So, I kind of like that movie and the way they portrayed him. Some people were like, yeah, it's not Oz. I'm like, well, kind of. But he's banging everything too. So he's sleeping with everything. And the fact that the witch becomes the witch because he screwed her and then ran off and ditched her. He ghosted the witch.
Mm-hmm.
So she's not like green and nasty. It's Miley Kunis or whatever the hell her name is. But she turns into the witch because he banged her and then ghosted her. How many of us have gone through that? McKinney draws with $10 super chat.
That joke was targeted at me. That was you were see. You thought I missed it because it's early in the morning. That right there was a Mexican insult.
You can't argue with that.
Yeah, I've kind of ghosted some chicks a couple times, but hey, at least what. Yeah, well, one time it was in service for a friend. I'll say that.
Oh my God, McKinney draws with the $10 super chat. I'm calling it right now. Amber Heard will be Dorothy. The wizard will be Ezra Miller. Brie Larson is the lion. Godmother will be Ray Slopt, and the Wicked Witch will be a Trump allegory. Okay, so the fairy godmother will be what's her name that plays Valkyrie in Thor? So you got Brie Larson as the lion. Yeah.
What's her face?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, that bitch.
Oh God, how do I now remember her name? I can't remember her name.
So yeah. The bitch that plays Valkyrie in Thor. So
right.
Tessa Thompson. Thank you.
Tessa Thompson, yes.
Thank you, Makini. But yeah. That'll be it. This is what we have to look forward to. for at least a little while longer. So hold on, let's get some. Barris told the outlet that his version, titled simply Wizard of Oz, will feature representation from both LGBTQ and other communities in an effort to tell a story that tackles modern day issues. The original was an allegory and a reflection of the way the world was at the time with things like the Great Depression and the Dust Bowl. Now we're going to turn a mirror on where we're at now and take disparate characters from the LGBTQ community, from different cultural communities and socioeconomic communities, and tell a story that reflects the world.
Wow.
I think this is the best time to do it. I'm nervous. Hopefully my movie can last as long as the original does.
No, that's delusional.
Hopefully my movie comes out. That's delusional too.
Yeah, I think that's pretty delusional. I'm still, you know what? I think I'm still emotionally. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, because your mic changed sound.
I had to sneeze, so I muted it for a minute.
Oh, I'm going to tell you this much: that when this is one of them, Wizard of Oz is one of the greatest films that ever came out. I am so sick and tired of Hollywood going back and doing shit that other people did better. It is just so ridiculous. It's lazy. It's lame. It's stupid. It's like in life. In anything in life, there's two kinds of people. There's people that play to win, and people that play not to lose. And people that play not to lose are people that live their life like not embracing courage. They don't embrace innovation. They don't embrace creativity. You know what? I say embrace creativity, be a leader, and embrace moving forward and not like going back and trying to change shit. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Oh my God, I know what. Let's go back and let's make Batman Mexican. Why? No. Jesus Christ, these people. Go on as long as the original.
Man Squatch, it was set in the early 1900s, not the 1930s. This guy doesn't even know when it was set.
Yep, that's true. Yep. Loki, we're not in Valhalla anymore.
Oh my God, Mexican Iron Man. Yeah. Following the early March passing of Florida's Parental Rights and Education Law, which bans the teaching of sexuality and transgenderism to children between kindergarten through third grade, Ellis made it clear that Hollywood needs to be on the front lines in the fight for LGBTQ rights and representations in children's shows. In children's movies.
Fucking sick fucks.
This is a children's movie. That's what it is.
Or was.
It was. It was a timeless classic.
It
still is. It still is a timeless classic. There's nothing they can do to erase this from existing. All they can do is try and replace it with someone. You see, there's been a lot of talk for the last 5 years, 6 years about how they want to erase the originals. It's not about erasing something. It's about replacing it. Why, Loki?
Yes.
Why do they feel they
right.
have to replace the Wizard of Oz? Because the Wizard of Oz to them is an Ist-Ob Yahtzee production that has all kinds of problems in it that they can't fix, because if they go in and they alternate it, they're just gonna piss everybody off. Lucas figured that out with Star Wars. They can't go in and they can't alter the original film without everyone throwing a fucking fit. And you can always watch the original. There's always a way to watch the original because this is part of the collection in Washington. This is in the archives. So you can't unmake this. But what you can do is you can come out with another movie that, this is the definitive. This is the definitive movie because we made it now. And what they try and do is replace the original with their bullshit that they think will last the test of time. Nothing they've made doing this formula has lasted the test of time. No one watches The Last Jedi. No one watches the sequel trilogy. No one watches any of the bullshit they've tried to come out with where they've tried to replace and remove and put this in its place. It's not happened. None of it works. It doesn't work. It does not work. And they have not figured it out yet that this, replacing this with something else, just doesn't work.
Yep.
McKinney Draws with $5 super chat says, also, just as a heads up, if anyone has any bright ideas on race swapping Dorothy, just remember the Wiz with Michael Jackson exists and it's timeless.
Oh, yeah, that's right, huh?
Mm-hmm. For when they say, this has never happened before. We've never had this. And thank you so very much, McKinney, for your super chats, brother. Machini, you guys keep the Viking brothers roaring out of the gate this morning. Skol! Oh! And Project Cambrian has a wonderful, wonderful comment. The original was a fever dream where a young girl comes to terms with maturing. Lion is a lesson for bravery. Scarecrow to think critically. Tin Man to have empathy. And that's true.
Yep.
Dig out loud. The family is and has been the target. Destroy the father figure, take the mother away from the children, let the state and entertainment take care of the kids. It's all about destroying family.
Yep.
I agree. I absolutely agree. 6. What is up, Sagacious 6? I think Loki should have to remove an article of clothing anytime he mispronounces McKinney. Who says 6 that I'm wearing anything now?
Ah!
Ah! I am. I have some shorts on. I have a white t-shirt on. I'm still pretty much what I slept in, except for the shorts.
That was pretty.
So maybe one day I'll get up an hour early and go on camera. Who knows? Anything can happen.
Miracles could happen, ladies and gentlemen.
Miracles
could indeed happen.
I'll have to get a 4K camera if I'm going to do that. So we've talked about Alec Baldwin. 4 people are getting charged in the Rust accident, as well they should be. This was something that did not need to happen. It could have been prevented easily. They want to blame guns, but it's people. People are to blame. You can't blame a weapon when someone has to hold that weapon and use that weapon for it to be effective. And YouTube can condemn me all they want for this. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. If YouTube has a problem with that, by all means, bring the hammer down. And we've talked about The Wizard of Oz, which is a timeless classic that they can't replace and get rid of. They can't. Just like Star Wars. Just like the original OT. Everybody always goes back to the original OT. The OT trilogy. You can't erase that. You can't replace that. You can't have something in its place and say, oh my God, the sequels, oh my God, they're like so much better and they replace the originals and yada. No, you can't do that. It doesn't work. And Snowdub with $2 super chat says, go and tuck and roll. Mexican Iron Man in puppet form, ladies and gentlemen.
What? No. What? That is
Mexican
almost
Iron Man and the neighbor lady. The married neighbor lady.
Okay, you know what?
Yes.
That's
what?
I can't say that's not true because.
But you didn't know.
I didn't know.
But you should have known.
I was a target. I was the hunted one. The wounded antelope on Serengeti.
Uh-huh.
Yep. That's me. The wounded antelope on the Serengeti.
Oh no, Mike, what have you done?
Obviously, Dean missed the Friday night show. If
you don't know what we're talking about, go back and listen to the Friday night show and the incredible tales of Mexican Iron Man with the married neighbor lady.
Hey, I didn't know. What do
You
want me
didn't
to do?
know. You didn't know.
What
You didn't
do you want
know.
me to do?
But it's funny. It's funny because I was talking to Eris after the show, and I said, watch what happens when I say it's complicated. And you were like, oh my God, that's exactly what she said. And I was like, yeah, been there, done that, get out now. Oh, it's complicated. As soon as you hear those words, it's like, no, nope,
Yeah.
nope, I'm out. In fact, saying I'm out, we're out. Guys, thank you so much for being here on Taco Tuesday. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and Mexican Iron Man. Until next Tuesday, take care, be excellent to each other. Always speak friend to enter. We're going to have a celebration stream Friday. We're not going to have a late show on Friday. The show's going to be at 5 p.m. I need to start updating everybody on that. That way everybody knows. 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to have a celebration. We're going to have guests. This is a way for me to say thank you to each and every one of you, especially those people that have come on the show, that have been a part of the show, or helped create the show. So we're going to have a fun time. Lots of thank yous going out from Loki. But until then, take care. Be excellent to each other. Always speak friend to enter. We'll catch you guys on the next Taco Tuesday. Later, everybody.
Bye.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.